Hello, 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 and welcome to the first installment of Troubling Questions.
Troubling Questions.
I'm Sean, one of your co-hosts,
And I'm Dick.
another
The
one of
Dick.
your co-hosts. So what the show is it's basically an informative talk show. In the future, we'll have some interesting guests who will talk to you about some troubling questions they may have faced. But for now, we're going to answer some troubling questions from our viewers.
Yeah.
So for that, we will go to the question box.
Which is shaped oddly like a football.
And we get the first question out of it.
Magic.
First question. Are the North Korean tunnel systems a threat to the United States and the world's security?
This is a hot topic.
But not enough people know about it.
I wonder why.
Maybe it's because of a vast conspiracy from the North Korean government to shut off media interests in order to secure their tunnels.
I say yes.
I agree.
Okay,
So,
so
Dick,
yeah.
give them some background info on these tunnels.
Basically, the North Koreans are the masters of underground tunnel creation and warfare.
They've been building tunnels since the early 30s.
Yeah. Japan, World War II, Japan's entire tunnel complex of underground systems was built by North Korean slaves, which were taken from their homeland when Japan invaded the Korean Peninsula. Then the Korean War, in which Korea, of course, they used underground facilities to
Over 10,000 of
yeah
them, by the way,
to hide their weaponry facilities to be able to
including
move men.
underground bunkers
Yeah.
housing thousands of Korean soldiers,
And
aid
then
stations, hospitals.
yeah, and then Vietnam, the communist leaders asked upon their communist brethren, North Korean dictator, what was his name?
Kim Jong Il.
Yeah, to call upon their services to build them underground facilities.
Yeah,
So if you look at Vietnamese, I guess, war historians, they talk about how, one of the number one reasons of the U.S. defeat in that region was the Viet Cong's ability to transport through underground facilities throughout Vietnam, and those were built by North Korea. And then we fast
yeah.
forward all the way up to 2006.
2006, the Israeli-Palestinian War, or Hamas War, which took place in Lebanon. The Lebanese members of the Hamas terrorist sect hired some North Korean professors, basically, of tunnel infrastructure to build some tunnels into Jerusalem
Yeah.
for their war. Now, these aren't your run-of-the-mill tunnels, that maybe you might have built with your friends in elementary school.
Yeah. By the playground? No.
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 These are full-blown tunnel systems with concrete reinforcement, bunker-busting reinforcement technology, cafeterias,
Yeah.
hospitals, aid stations, armories.
Yeah. I mean, you take the above ground world, and they basically were able to duplicate it underground.
Imagine a subway, subway station
Yeah.
underground, except full of enemy soldiers
Hmm.
and tanks.
Yeah. That's essentially what it was. Now, Israeli intelligence, when they were reviewing the war, they note that one of the number one reasons for Israel's defeat, a lot of historians calculated as a defeat upon Israel, was the fact that Hamas was able to essentially appear and then disappear in multiple different places. This was due to their underground facilities
And
built by
also,
North Korea.
a big part of Israel's defense systems is the Patriot missile complexes that the United States and NATO have given them. These missiles were rendered obsolete in the 2006 Hamas war,
Yeah.
as they could not pierce the bunker busting reinforced
Concrete and steel.
of these tunnels
Yeah.
built by the North Koreans.
And then also we can look to a lot of enemies of the United States, Iran. Why don't you talk about Iran's missile program and its connection with these underground facilities?
Well, it's no secret that Iran has been developing nuclear technology for the past couple of years. You know, they don't border, but they're very close to some very big countries that have nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
You know, supposedly maybe Israel,
Yeah.
Pakistan, India. They're working on nuclear technology for, they claim, energy reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in 2006, the United States and other nations doing a flyover saw some complexes that were basically making enriched uranium and plutonium for yellow cake, which is necessary for nuclear missiles.
Yeah.
So, of course, the UN shut that down.
But Iran didn't stop there. Instead, they got the help of North Korea to build them underground facilities so they could do their research underground without the ability for the United States to do surveillance on their actions. They enlisted North Korean help and creating these underground facilities, which the book The Iranian Threat notes is almost undetectable by radar and other systems of detection. We only know about these underground facilities because we followed a paper trail between North Korea and Iran showing that they're beginning construction of underground facilities. But in terms of our ability to measure the depth of these facilities, they are so deep that our surveillance is unable to actually detect their location, rendering our ability to destroy them through bunker busting and missile capabilities.
Even on the Korean homeland, there's over 10,000 of these tunnels in North Korea alone, which would make a potential war with North Korea over South Korea a big problem because North Korea has these tunnel systems.
And added to that threat is the fact that there's a lot of tunnel systems going under the demilitarized zone, the DMZ of North Korea and South Korea, leading into South Korea. Now, if you look at Kim Jong Il's military strategies, he talks about a North Korean uprising in South Korea.
Now, let's picture an uprising coming out of the ground.
Yeah. Kim Jong Il, he's not talking about a figurative uprising.
He's not talking about, rebel groups inside South Korea all of a sudden coming together and fighting the government.
No.
He's talking about North Korean nationals coming out of the ground.
Yeah. I mean,
in an uprising, going inside, North Koreans flanking the South Koreans through other tunnels, and then coming to a front with them with their other ones.
Yeah.
Coming up to the front and to the back. Yeah. Basically sandwiching the South Koreans.
That's exactly what happened in the first Korean War, in terms of the North Koreans' ability to surround and squish American and UN forces, and added to the fact that Chinese sent 300,000 people to push the United States down to South Korea.
Just a fun fact here for some thought. You always see Kim Jong Il wearing a tracksuit and sunglasses. Yeah. Maybe he has sensitive eyes because he's always underground.
I mean, it all makes sense. Yeah. It all makes sense.
It all makes sense. And that's what we like to do on this show.
Added to the fact, North Koreans' most thriving legal occupation is the movie industry.
Right. Their most legal industry, really, is their production companies, headed by Kim Jong Il.
Yeah.
He loves movies.
He's actually a well-renowned, famous director.
Lots of people actually from Hollywood go over there for some of his movies. Yeah. And lots of them are filmed in the tunnels. Yeah. But of course, they'll never say that. So you may be watching a movie sometime soon with tunnels in it. Little do you know, they're under North Korea.
It's North Korea, baby.
All about North Korea. So that was our first installment of Troubling Questions with Dick and Sean. And we look forward to more questions in the future. If you have any questions that are troubling you,
comment.
Leave them at the comment box under this video.
Yeah.
Farewell, America.